Hi everyone, this lesson is about prepositions of time and place. Why do we say the bank is on Grimshaw Lane and she lives at 132 Gainsborough Avenue, but not she lives in 132 Gainsborough Avenue or the bank is at Grimshaw Lane? The prepositions at, in, and on are often used in English to talk about places, positions, and times. If we analyze patterns of occurrence, we can identify key concepts in meaning and usage. Let's look at prepositions of time first, starting with at. The preposition at is used in the following descriptions of time with clock times. My train leaves at 10:30. We left at midnight. The meeting starts at 2:30. Why don't you try answering the question using at? What time do you usually go to sleep? You could say something like, I usually go to sleep at 10:30 p.m. At is also used for specific times of day or meal times. For example, he doesn't like driving at night. I'll go shopping at lunchtime. I like to read the children a story at bedtime. Do you read at bedtime? Can you answer the question using at? Yes, I read at bedtime. It's also used with festivals. For example, are you going home at Christmas? Try answering this question. Are you going on vacation at Easter time, spring, Semana Santa? Yes, I'm going on vacation at Easter time. It's also used in certain fixed expressions which refer to specific points in time. For example, are you leaving at the weekend? She's working at the moment. I finished the course at the end of April. Try answering this question. What are you doing at the weekend? Remember to use at in your answer. I'm going to watch Netflix at the weekend. Now let's look at in. The preposition in is used in the following descriptions of time, with months, years, seasons, and longer periods of time. For example, I was born in 1965. We're going to visit them in May. He was famous in the 1980s. Try answering this question. When were you born? Answer the question with the word in. I was born in 2010. It's also used with periods of time during the day. For example, he's leaving in the morning. She usually has a nap in the afternoon. I tried to work in the evening. When do you take a nap? Answer the question using the preposition in, and morning, afternoon, or evening. I take a nap in the afternoon. It's also used to describe the amount of time needed to do something. For example, they managed to finish the job in 2 weeks. You can travel there and back in a day. How long does it usually take to do your homework? Answer the question in hours. I can do my homework in 2 hours. It's also used to indicate when something will happen in the future. For example, she'll be ready in a few minutes. And he's gone away, but he'll be back in a couple of days. When will you be back? Think of an answer using the preposition in. I will be back in a couple of days. Now let's look at on. The preposition on is used in the following descriptions of time, with days of the week and parts of days of the week. For example, I'll see you on Friday. She usually works on Mondays. We're going to the theater on Wednesday evening. When do you study English? Think of an answer using the preposition on. I study English on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It's also used with dates. For example, the interview is on the 29th of April, and he was born on February 14th, 1995. When is your exam? Think of an answer using the preposition on. My exam is on Monday, May 13th. It's used with special days. For example, she was born on Valentine's Day. We move house on Christmas Eve. I have an exam on my birthday. Now it's your turn. What day is your birthday? Answer the question using the preposition on. My birthday is on Wednesday, July 8th. If we examine these different aspects of usage for the three prepositions, a general pattern emerges. At is generally used in reference to specific times on the clock or points of time in the day. In generally refers to longer periods of time, several hours or more. And on is used with dates and named days of the week. Now let's look at prepositions of place. We'll begin with at. The preposition at is used in the following descriptions of place and position, with specific places and points in space. For example, she kept the horse at a nearby farm. I had a cup of coffee at Helen's house. And Angie's still at home. Think of an answer to this question using the preposition at. Where do I meet you? My answer is, meet me at the entrance of the building. It can also be used with public places and shops. For example, Jane's at the dentist, or I studied German at college. And shall I meet you at the station? Where do you study English? Think of an answer using the preposition at. My answer is, I studied English at Salvador Dali Elementary School. It can be used with addresses as well. They live at 70 Duncombe Place. Do you remember where they live? Answer the question. They live at 70 Duncombe Place. It can also be used with events. I met her at last year's graduation party. Can you answer this question using the preposition at? Where did you meet? We met at the graduation party. Now let's look at the preposition on. The preposition on is used in the following descriptions of place and position, with surfaces or things that can be thought of as surfaces. For example, the letter is on my desk. There was a beautiful painting on the wall. Write the number down on a piece of paper. Do you write on a desk? Can you answer the question using the preposition on? My answer is, Yes, I write on a desk. It can be used with roads, streets, or other things that can be thought of as a line, for example, rivers. The bank is on the corner of King Street. Koblenz is on the Rhine. Bournemouth is on the south coast. What street is your house on? Answer the question using the preposition on. My answer is, my house is on York Street. Now let's look at the preposition in. The preposition in is used in the following descriptions of place and position with geographical regions. Driving in France is very easy. Orgava is a very small village in the mountains. What country do you live in? This should be pretty easy. Remember to use the preposition in your answer. I live in Spain. It can also be used with cities, towns, and larger areas. For example, do you like living in Nottingham? They were having a picnic in the park. She works somewhere in the toy department. What city do you go to school in? Answer the question using the preposition in. The answer is, I go to school in Los Hueros. It can also be used with buildings, rooms, and places that can be thought of as surrounding a person or object on all sides. For example, can you take a seat in the waiting room, please? Or, I've left my bag in the office. And lots of people were swimming in the lake. Where is your backpack? Think of a room in your house and answer the question with the correct preposition. My backpack is in my room, my bedroom. It can also be used with containers. There's fresh milk in the fridge. I think I've got a tissue in my pocket. The money is in the top drawer of my desk. Where do you keep your money? Think of an answer using the preposition in. My answer is, I keep my money in my piggy bank. In can also be used with liquids and other substances to show what they contain. For example, do you take milk in your coffee? I can taste garlic in this sauce. There's a lot of fat in cheese and butter. Would you like sugar in your cornflakes? Answer the question using the preposition in. My answer is, yes, I would like sugar in my cornflakes. A general pattern again emerges if we consider these different aspects of usage. We can think of at as one-dimensional, referring to a specific place or position in space. On is two-dimensional, referring to the position of something in relation to a surface. In is by contrast three-dimensional, referring to the position of something in relation to the things that surround it. Thinking of the prepositions in these terms helps us. For instance, in is generally used for larger places, and at for smaller, more specific places. So we say, we arrived in Inverness 2 hours ago. But for a campsite, we would say we arrived at the campsite 2 hours ago. However, if we think of a city or larger place as a specific point in space, then we can use at. For example, the train stops at Birmingham and Bristol. Or if we think of a smaller place as three-dimensional, we can use in. For example, we've lived in this little village for many years. That's it. That's the end of the lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye.